It's about time someone had Caitlin Clark's back in the media. Over the span of her first WNBA season, we saw a ton of media members try to downplay her greatness. They did everything in their power to act like she wasn't the best rookie in her class or that what she was doing wasn't truly generational. Some of these narratives even ended up costing Caitlin her unanimous Rookie of the Year title. Someone who has made it a mission to take shots at Caitlin has been Sheryl Swoopes. She has a litany of clips and quotes poking fun at Caitlin and saying that she isn't as good as everyone thinks. But now, even the Fever president had enough of Swoopes' narratives. By the end of this video, you will see how the Fever president shut down Swoopes' negative rumors. WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes started a social media firestorm weeks ago when she claimed on the Gills Arena podcast that several players in Indiana's locker room want out of town because no one wants to play with Clark. Naturally, when Swoopes was asked to name these players who seemed to be upset with Caitlin, she had no answers. So clearly, she was spreading a baseless rumor. If there were ever any questions regarding how those internally feel about Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, it was answered when new president of basketball operations, Kelly Krauskopf, spoke to reporters. She addressed Swoopes' accusations and in doing so made Swoopes seem foolish for speaking about something she had no first-hand knowledge of.
I think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her. She, much like Tyrese Halliburton, she gets you the ball in places that you didn't even know you were open because she passes to space, she finds openings and ways to free up other players. So
her playmaking has elevated her Fever teammates as well. Aaliyah Boston is having the best season of her career and was named to the All-Star team. She also received the second most fan votes of any player. Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston became the first duo in Fever history to record 20-point double-doubles in the same game. Both of them were cooking the Mercury. However, that wasn't Caitlin's only accomplishment. She also had 7 first-quarter assists, which broke a franchise record. She now has the Fever record for both assists in a single quarter and assists in a single game. On top of that, Caitlin's other teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, also made the All-Star team. Having Caitlin on the team makes it so much easier for her teammates to play their roles. Besides, all they really have to do is hustle and make the right cuts because Caitlin will find them thanks to her pinpoint passes and even a few unbelievable bounce passes that leave the defense confused. She basically did everything you could have wanted and then some. Now this reminds us of the time when Swoopes went on a misinformation campaign in order to discredit Caitlin Clark. Ironically enough, it was also when she appeared on Gil's podcast. Maybe she should stay clear of this podcast as it makes her say some outlandish things.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
What Swoopes is talking about here is the women's all-time scoring record that Caitlin set and in doing so broke Kelsey Plum's previous record. However, Caitlin actually broke the record in less than 4 years, so Swoopes was hating for no reason.
Like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
But it didn't end just there. Here, she is blatantly lying by saying that Caitlin was 25 years old when she was dominating in college, when in fact, Caitlin is only 22 years old. At least if you're going to hate, you should do it cleverly so that it's not so obvious. But it doesn't stop there. Swoopes continued to misinform the public about Caitlin in order to push her agenda.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Again, blatant lies. At the time, Caitlin was taking 22.3 shots a game, which was actually lower than the number of shots Swoopes took in her college tenure. Now, one person who Swoopes could be referring to is Nalissa Smith. Smith's minutes went down this season, and along with that, her overall production took a hit. She went from averaging a career best 15.5 points per game to 10.6. Even her rebounds and blocks were down. So perhaps she felt underutilized in Caitlin's system. So there is some validity to this. After the season was over for the Fever, Carrington hinted at wanting to free Smith from her Fever team. Following the Suns' 87-81 Game 2 win that sealed the series win, Carrington shared a touching moment with Smith after the tense game. Though the series was competitive, the couple's bond was evident. Later, Carrington expressed on X her admiration for Smith and hinted that she would like her to leave Indiana. Even as Smith feels like she could do more, it is a shame that she had to throw Caitlin under the bus.
Was
Caitlin
responsible
has
for
done so
drafting
much
Clark.
for that team.
Her departure signals
She did
that the
the
Fever is
impossible
willing
and
to
turned
make
around the
drastic
Indiana
changes to build a
franchise.
winning team around their
Indiana
star.
already has
Clark's
as many
impact
wins
extends
this
far
season as it
beyond
did a year
Indiana's
ago,
borders.
and is tied
The
for fourth
WNBA
most
as a
victories
whole
in
is
the
feeling
league
the
since the
Caitlin
start of
Clark
July.
effect. The
She
league
has
announced the
also
addition
etched
of
her
a
name
new
in the league's
franchise,
historical
a
record.
long-awaited
Against the
expansion that
Seattle
many
Storm,
attribute
she
to
set
the
record
increased
for
interest
most
generated
assists
by
a
Clark.
first-year player,
Additionally,
passing WNBA legend Tisha Penicheiro with 12 games to spare. She also has the most assists in a single game, dishing out 19 dimes. Along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles
the face of the WNBA.
WNBA.
Her on-court performance and off-court presence will be crucial in shaping the public perception of professional women's basketball in the coming years. We are witnessing a truly historic moment in women's basketball. The Indiana Fever, a franchise that just a few years ago was struggling to stay relevant, is now at the epicenter of a revolution.
Alyssa Thomas to become the league's assist leader. The achievement silenced any skepticism, with Clark showing that her talent is as undeniable as it is remarkable. Her performance marked another historic milestone in her budding career, proving once again that no lights are too bright for her. Her record-setting performance follows an earlier achievement when she notched 19 assists in a single game against the Dallas Wings back in July. After averaging 24 points, 8.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds per game in August, Caitlin was named the Rookie of the Month for the third time, and August's Eastern Conference Player of the Month. So with this honor, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to earn the Player of the Month award. On September 4th,
basketball
the
fans,
Fever beat
get
the
ready.
Los Angeles
The
Sparks
future
in a
of the sport is here,
93-86 win,
and it's
with
brighter
Clark
than ever.
posting 24
What do you think
points,
about
10
these
rebounds,
changes?
and 10
Should Christy
assists,
Sides
marking
really
her
leave?
second
And who would you like to see
triple-double.
coaching the
During
Fever?
this game,
Your
she
ideas might be
registered
more
her 100th
valuable than you
three-pointer
think.
made, making her the first
Second,
to achieve in a
if you're not
rookie
already
season
following
and
the
fastest
WNBA
player in
closely,
WNBA
this is the
history
perfect time to
do
start.
so. It took her just 34 games. It was also Clark's third straight game with at least 20 points and 10 assists, equaling Courtney Vandersloot's streak from 2017 as the longest in WNBA
Elected as the first
history.
overall pick in the 2024 draft, Clark came to the Fever with astronomical expectations. Her scoring ability, court vision, and charisma instantly injected new life into the franchise. However, Clark's transition to the WNBA wasn't without obstacles.
Swoopes' theory recently. In a recent interview with Brian O'Keefe of Esquire, Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James also suggested Swoopes' Clark accusations were nonsensical. Clark has the vision, she has the spirit, she's infectious, and people want to play with her, James said. The Fever are going to be a really good team, and not too long from now. Well, pressure makes diamonds, so it is safe to say that Caitlin entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any rookie. Right away, people expected her to not only dominate, but carry the league on her shoulders. Most rookies come into the league and ride the bench for a while and work on their skill set. A few special cases might start right away. And then there are the ultra special cases who not only start, but make a big impact. Caitlin went beyond this. She was tasked with leading the Indiana Fever back to relevance after a 7-year playoff drought, along with carrying the WNBA to new heights. What other rookies had to take on such responsibility and excelled?